Hey everybody, Steve Vigil back again with another great video and some great education for you. We're going to be talking about rental properties again today. We buy a lot of rental properties. We've bought a lot of rental properties over the years, and I've got a certain formula, a certain way I've done it, and it's really worked well for us. And I want to share that knowledge. There are a number of ways you can buy rental properties. Depending on a lot of factors, and that's what I'm trying to go through. And as I go through all these different videos that I do about rental properties and I explain how I buy them, I also want to explain how other ways that we can buy them. And when we're working on this and all the different reasons we're going to talk about, that we need to just, if we have these things in mind when we're going into it, we're going to be able to make better decisions as we, go out and find investment properties. In the early years when I started buying rental properties, I didn't have a lot of great guidance. And because of that, I bought a lot of properties much differently than I buy them now. I won't say I bought them wrong, because when I was able to finally sell them after keeping them for a long time, I did make profit on the end. But those properties cost me a lot of money every year to hang on to. So trying to avoid some of those pitfalls with everyone is what I'm trying to give you, that kind of information and education here. So let me go to my screen share, maybe. Okay, there we go. Okay, so one of the factors I think that's really important for us to think about when we are looking at rental properties, because you can buy rental properties anywhere, is have you decided what kind of rental properties that you would like to own? There's a wide range of properties when it comes to this. For us, I like more of the lower income properties, I guess we call them that. I like to stay more in my blue collar working class neighborhoods for my rental properties, and that could be rental properties that we own that ARVs are 70, 80,000, and it can be the properties we own that ARVs are 130 or 140. That's a real sweet spot for me, all in that range. I really like that price range for an ARV standpoint. So think about the kind of rental properties you want. So in doing that, have we thought about an area of town that we want to have rental properties? Quite often when I talk to somebody and I ask them about where do you want to have your rental properties, most of the time the answer I get is, I want to have them close to my house. Well, that can be good and bad. Where I live, I don't have any of my rental properties anywhere close to where I live, because I don't do high-end rental properties. And not like I don't live in a super high-end area, but it's higher than the price range for rental properties that I want. So I don't have any rental properties anywhere near where I live. And some of our rental properties are a long ways away from where I live. But I'm fine with that. And I have management set up in place to take care of that. So some things that you should really think about, and in your moving forward with rental properties, what areas of town work best for rental properties. And that's another thing about the area of town I live in, or my house is, it doesn't set up well for rental properties for the most part. I'm sure there's rental properties around, but I don't do rental properties on houses at ARV at 250,000, 300,000. That's just way high-end rental properties to me, and I don't want to mess with that. I know people that's the only thing they want to mess with, but that's a personal thing. It's totally up to you, and you do what you want to do. Just throwing that out there. But I think even more important of where you want to have your properties are the areas of town where you definitely do not want to have rental properties. Like I said, I've got rental properties in a lot of areas of town. Now we're in Houston, Texas here, and we've got all the surrounding areas and all the surrounding counties around Houston, and they can vary in price range. They can vary in demographics tremendously. We're the big city, so it's much different here than in a smaller community. I have a lot more choices and flexibility than you might have in a smaller community as well. So giving that some thought, and moving forward. So with all that being said, price range is everything. Do you have a price range you want to stay within, an ARV that you want to stay in? Like I had mentioned a few minutes ago, really my sweet spot for rental properties are properties that ARV between 80 and 130, 140,000. That's my sweet spot, because obviously if I'm buying them much lower than that, and I'm looking at my rent ratios and my LTVs and all that kind of stuff, then that can be a really, really strong market. At the same time, I love that market because I always have people that need rental properties in that price range. We're going to get into a lot of detail about all these things as we go through this whole series of videos I'm going to be giving you guys. So think about that. Now, something that's I think you really need to think about going in is rehabbing that property. Do you have rehab budget that you want to stay within? In the beginning, and when I started buying rental properties, where I thought I was doing big rehabs, which were nothing more than glorified make-readies, as it turns out. But at the time, I didn't know that. My education hadn't grown enough to even think that way. I thought when I was doing a $4,000 or $5,000 rehab on a property to get a tenant in it, I thought that was the big rehab. I didn't realize I was just doing a glorified make-ready in some of those cases. So thinking about the budget that you want to stay within, that's really important to know that before you go out and look for those properties. Are there repairs that you're afraid to do? This is something I come across a lot with a lot of investors. And in the beginning, I fell right into this. There were tons of major repairs I was afraid of because I'd never done it before. Putting a roof on a house, foundation's got cracks in it, and we've got to put piers in. That terrified me in the beginning. What if I got to put an HVAC system in the house, heating and cooling system? I've never done that before. And then when I would get closer, look at those numbers of how much those repairs would cost, it was very scary to me. But the way I was buying them, I didn't know how to budget correctly, and I didn't know how to buy correctly to put those costs into the buy of the deal. It's much different now, and I do it much different. But back then, I didn't. I was terrible about that. And when I was buying a property back then, I was also getting conventional financing on that deal, so the repair money was coming out of my pocket. I didn't know that I could put that repair money into my budget and into the cost of me buying that property. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of education back then. I thought I was a lot smarter than I was. And so, you learn over time. You learn by making mistakes. And I'm trying to help you avoid some of those mistakes. And by having some of these things in place, thinking about some of these things long before you buy the rental property, it really helps you start to put your plan together and helps you, buy the property correctly. Let me get out of here. So, there's so many things, when it comes to buying rental properties that we don't think about, because most of us just think it's pretty simple to do. You get a property, you put a tenant in it, let the tenant pay for the property. And if you're listening to a lot of the gurus, that's what they tell you. There's a lot more to it than that in anything we do in real estate investing. And I'm trying to give you some of that guidance that you won't get listening to a lot of the gurus. These are just kind of some of the realities of what's out there. So I've got tons more videos coming your way. We've already done a lot of videos on a lot of other topics and subjects as well. So please go and check out the other videos that we've done. Give me some feedback. Let me know how this education is going. Let me know if I'm helping you. That's really important because I want to make sure I'm giving you good content. Give me a thumbs up, give us some likes, share our page with everybody, get people to come and join us on our YouTube channel. And we'll be seeing you real soon on the next video. Till then, have a great day, everybody. Bye.